Okay, and we're live. Welcome. For the moment, it's just me, but soon we'll be joined by Esty, who is my co-teacher on the project. Hi, Pierre. There she is. There's Esty. Thanks for joining, guys. Cool. So we're going to be joined now by Esty. Like I said, she's my co-teacher on the project Yoga Together. You would have seen us post a lot about this, so we wanted to make a space for you too. Let's see if we get this right. Allison, hi.
Hi guys.
Hi, Esty. Welcome.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's going well, I must admit. Totally new dynamic. But then again, not so new because I guess we meet online every day.
Yeah, we've been doing this whole project online actually since the beginning.
Right. Yeah, so that's why we're here. We chose today because today is 6 months since our first online class.
Yay!
Hi, Tace. Okay, so today we're just going to chat briefly about how we started this Yoga Together journey online and how we met, where we're going, what we're doing, also a couple of things we've experienced moving this practice online. At the end of the chat, the discussion, we'll also be taking questions. Hi, thank you. Happy anniversary. Thanks, guys. So yeah, if you have any questions, then you can just type to us and we'll answer you as best we can. Cool. Okay. So hi guys. So Esty, we actually met years ago. Can you maybe tell everyone a bit about how we met and where we were at when we met, what we were
Yeah.
doing?
So we were both actually living in South Korea, and I was living on a coastal town, and Michelle was living in Daegu. And I was searching far and wide for a yoga studio that I can join, and I eventually made my way to Daegu, where I joined the Ayurveda Yoga Academy, in the city. And that's when Michelle and I met. She had already been practicing there for, I don't know, how many years were you there already? That was in 2017.
Maybe I was on my second year there.
Mm.
You arrived.
Yeah. So I joined the leadership course, which is a teacher training course led by them. But of course, it's so much more than that. So we were both completely involved with the yoga studio, and that's how we got to know each other and started practicing together. And actually, because I was living in a different city, we were practicing online already then. During the week, I don't know if you remember, Michelle, sometimes we used to do Friday morning classes online.
Yeah, I remember that. And it seemed so weird at that time, but it seems like it was good practice for what was to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
unfolding.
jump ahead a couple of years, how did we end up here back in South Africa and teaching online?
So I think that it's safe to say both of us are nomadic, and we like to be traveling around. So Michelle was traveling through a couple of countries in Eastern and Western Europe. And then, am I right? Yeah? You went to
Russia, yeah, and Europe, yeah. Right.
Europe. And then we moved back to South Africa, and I had already also been back for a while. When we met up, and then everyone went indoors, and we started with community yoga online, which was really, really a powerful thing. I could feel that for everyone involved, it was really meaningful to have a sense of community and to have a support system outside your house. And that was, yeah, that was a really special time, even though it was challenging for everyone. And it turned into a beautiful online yoga studio.
There we go. Yeah. I often think actually when looking back at this time in our lives, these are the people that I'm going to remember in this experience, connecting with these people online, seeing them every day, seeing you every day. It's something really special. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was on my way back to South Africa. You were on your way out, and of course, COVID happened. And this started out sort of as I think there were 8 of us that got together for the first class,
Mm.
and just as a supportive vehicle. Oh, thanks for the hearts. And yeah, now it's grown to so much more. But initially, I remember you saying when we moved, when we were doing the classes online, uh, that this was the first time that you were teaching a class totally without moving, without actually doing the class yourself,
Mm.
and how that was a transition for you in the beginning. Can you maybe talk about some of the other transitions or some other ways in which teaching online is different to
Mm.
teaching in person or in a studio environment?
Yeah. Um, I think the biggest thing is just uh, not being there physically makes you read the room a little bit differently, right? You're not actually physically in the room. But luckily, because of the way that we do the classes where it's interactive and everyone's videos are on, you are able to connect, I think, um, on a personal level to some extent. But yeah, that's been a big transition for me. Obviously, yeah, when you're teaching yoga and guiding someone, it and the asana practice is a physical practice, so not physically being there was something to also get used to.
Right.
But the other thing that we also, like I said, we have this from the beginning. There was a very big sense of community, and I feel like that also translates into being able to manage that limitation well, because we know our students, and
Right.
I feel like we all feel very comfortable with each other, so we can be open to each other about what state we're in physically, mentally, and how we can all practice together comfortably.
Yeah, so that actually on that note is such a huge thing too that I'd like to also talk about is we miss being in the physical space together, but still we can kind of recreate that feeling of sitting with the teacher drinking tea after class I mean, oftentimes we've stayed after class and sometimes the questions and the discussion is about the asana, it's about yoga postures. Um, but sometimes it was just about the experience that we were all having and sharing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so and there's been so many moments like that where the connection could be felt even though you're sitting in a separate room, in a separate place, separate country even. Is there any of those moments that stand out to you just right now in the moment that you can think of?
From teaching online, from having the classes online.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot now. If there's any moments that you had where uh, you can put into words that feeling of connection despite distance.
Mm. Yeah, it's happened a few times where towards the end of the class, a, 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 a really deep feeling of gratitude comes up. And I can't say that it is for a specific reason or something special happens. It is just that feeling of, okay, wow, we were just practicing together. Somehow we feel in sync, even though there is a lot of physical space between us. Um, And I think that has brought up a lot of really special and fuzzy, warm feelings. And I think the best I can say is just really deep gratitude.
Right. Yeah. And the people that we've been able to meet through this and the relationships that, yeah, I mean, previously we'd never met these people, and some of us we still haven't met physically, and yet for 6 months we've been practicing together and having these conversations at a time where maybe we needed to lean on each other a bit more than normal, or we needed a place where we could just share our feelings or share our fears, even in relation to what's going on in the world. And yeah, you said that's a really powerful thing.
I agree, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I won't keep you that much longer. Again, I just want to remind everyone that if you do have questions, you're welcome to ask now. And then I have one more question for you, Esty. As we wrap up our first live Insta broadcast, can I call it that? If you, how would you, no, what would you say to someone who is or has been considering yoga as a tool for self-care and self-discovery, especially during this time? What would you say to them if they were considering this practice? Yeah, where do they start? How can they begin?
Well, I would say to them, just try.
Right.
It's so easy to, I mean, it can be a really simple thing just to show up. And you already, to come to class, because our classes are, and if you feel comfortable with a teacher, you're already off to a great start. And so, yeah, I would just say to them, come and try. Our classes are open to all levels in the way that we teach, in that it's a classic sequence that we follow, and whoever comes to class then kind of directs the way in which the class is going to be. So a lot of people might think that, oh no, I'm not flexible enough, or I have to do this thing first before I can go to a yoga class. And really the best thing is to just try. You get to explore where your body is now, physically, mentally, and you can just always keep growing and keep going with the guidance of your teacher.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. I agree, just try it out if you're curious. We're also always open to questions or conversations. If you'd like to know more, get in touch with Esty. I guess we'll post this to the account afterwards, and we'll tag Esty, we'll tag myself. Oh, I didn't even introduce myself. For those who don't know, I'm Michelle, and I've been speaking to Esty today. We teach together through Ayurveda Yoga Africa. Our online branch is Yoga Together, and yeah, get in touch if you'd like to know more. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone who tuned in. Esty, I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to say before we sign off today.
Yeah, I see some friends of mine joining that I've met traveling around the world. Some in Chile, some in the States, and another great thing about being online is this international community that we get to have, an international yoga studio. So, yeah, at any time if you want to try it and it fits into your schedule and your time zone, then just come, get in contact and chat to us.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I actually totally forgot. That's one of the major benefits of being online is meeting people from all over the world. Speaking of which, we have a question all the way from Malaysia. Pierre asked, do you ever have moments when you're not in the mood for yoga? If yes, do you push through that and do it anyway, or just give yourself a break? I'll let you answer first, and then I'll add.
Okay. Yeah, let's share both of our experiences. Yes, definitely it happens when I feel like, ugh, not really in the mood right now. But that's a thought, that's a feeling that comes up, right? And when you're practicing yoga, you're practicing awareness of the way that you are reacting to things, and you get to know yourself very well in that way. So you can catch that feeling, you can catch that thought, and just take a breath. Get on your mat, take another breath, watching the thought, watching the feeling. It's going to change, and you can just become you can become the watcher. Um, your awareness, just watching what happens to that. And then one thing that I've experienced quite often then in that situation is that you realize that it's all about just relaxing into the moment. You can find, so you do end up giving your body a rest. You do end up taking a rest by showing up, by coming to class. um, yeah so
I want to quote one of our members here, actually, Selma, who said, the days where you don't feel like yoga, those are the days that you need yoga the most. And yeah, another thing I think was this, anyway, I've heard this multiple times and it's totally true, is you never regret taking a yoga class. It's going to make you feel better. So yeah, and even if you give yourself permission to be take the class really easy, you'll end up finding that you can actually do more than you expected you could do. This is something that I've often experienced. Okay, cool, guys. Thanks for the questions. We've got a few more here. Oh, it disappeared. How do I go back? There we go. Rocket Boy, hi. Stefan asks, how long have you guys been doing yoga and what inspired you to become yoga teachers? Oh, okay. So my yoga practice started maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Just there was a yoga teacher that came to our office actually while I was still working as a journalist, and I just did class with her once a week. It wasn't anything too serious. I just wanted to improve my posture. And then one day, and I'll never forget this moment, I was sitting in traffic on my way home, and I was suddenly totally aware of my body in the car seat. And I realized that I'd never actually felt my body sitting in the car the way it was. It was just hyper awareness, and I think that was really the first seed for me. But I would say that my yoga practice became really serious when I was in Korea, practicing at Ayurveda Yoga Academy, where I met my teachers. And yeah, I mean, along with them, they're just an incredible inspiration. I think the changes that I saw in my life and in myself and in my mind, in my body, all these things, it got me curious. So I just kept digging a little more until the opportunity came up to study. And then I was like, okay, well, I can't really imagine myself as a teacher, but I'm interested in this thing. And this thing is some kind of magic. So let me dig a little deeper. And now I'm here full time, dedicated to making this just my life, or my lifestyle, put it that way. Esty, how about you?
um, I actually, yeah, as a student in uni, I went to a couple of classes, but I also it wasn't it wasn't until I had been practicing for a while when I also had this aha moment. And I actually was living in another town in Korea quite some time ago, where I studied with another teacher, and she didn't speak any English, and I didn't speak any Korean. But she led me into yoga in a very deep way, which was very special. Eugene, my teacher. And yeah, anyway, that got me really hooked on yoga. And I did a course in India also where I, like Michelle, I thought, well, I'm not really see myself as a yoga teacher, but I want to strengthen my foundation. So I'm going to go try this thing out. And ended up at Ayurveda Yoga Academy as well a couple of years later, where I was led in another great way to share yoga.
Yeah. The I think the great experience that we both got to have, having studied yoga in a different country in a foreign language or through an interpreter, um, no, a translator. That's probably a better way to say. Um, is that you come to really understand that yoga is beyond language, that you can communicate and you can feel.
Mm.
You can communicate in a different way, to put it
Yeah.
in a simple way. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that made the experience in Korea studying in Korea quite special as well.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to go to the next question, unless there was something you wanted to add.
No, I
That's
could just
okay.
speak forever on the topic, so let's go to the next.
All right. Okay. Allison, all the way from the Netherlands, asks a less deep question. Any experience with cork yoga mats? Oh, I wish I knew. Any other sustainable mat recommendations? Esther, you actually wrote a article on this, so I'm going to hand the question over to you.
Yeah, I actually haven't tried a cork yoga mat or any other kind of yoga mat. I got a Manduka mat, which is made from recycled PVC. But I've actually had this mat for all of my yoga practice, and I haven't had to replace it. And I've traveled with this mat. I mean, I practice twice a day, so it is really. I think there's really a very important thing is going quality, because then you don't have to replace your mat, and the old mat becomes trash every year or every couple of months. So just investing in a good mat, I would say, is the number one thing. And then more sustainable mat recommendations, I would say, looking for materials that actually don't have any PVC or other toxins in it. So going for tree rubber mats and cork mats. But I actually, like I said, I don't have any personal experience actually practicing on them. So that's as far as my knowledge goes. But yeah, check out our blog, ayurvedayoga.co.za. And we have a bunch of really cool articles in there. One of them is on eco-friendly yoga mats.
Right. Actually, well, I'll link it in the, maybe we can do a link in bio thing for that after the session as well. And I'm also sitting on a Manduka mat right now. I've had it for years. I love it. It changed my practice. Yeah, I can't imagine doing yoga on anything else. This plus, what's my other one? Jade yoga that's a natural tree rubber that I use for travel because it's lighter. Cool. Thanks for the question, Allison.
Cool.
David asks, are you teaching breathwork in the sessions too? This is actually also something I really wanted to talk about, so thank you for asking this question. We've debated about this for a while, and people have asked us, can we do more breathwork? And it's not that we don't want to, and it's not that we don't see the value to it. It's just that doing it safely online is difficult. We're still trying to find a good way, if any, to do it online. But I think once we're in person again, then that opens us up to more breath work, more advanced postures. Again, we go in a conservative way and put safety first. So these are big things we have considered and will keep considering for the future. So David, you're in South Africa, so join us when we're in person again. We'll see you there. Breathwork. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about this. Is there anything you'd like to add, Esty?
No, that's exactly it.
No, that's about it. Yeah. Cool. So I think that we've come to the end for our questions for now. If there's anything else, you can quickly type. Otherwise, breathwork is amazing. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the thing about it is that it's something to look forward to as well. We've made a strong base with classic class online, but I would say that there are certain things that can only be done in person with a teacher, and breathwork for us is one of those things. In the meantime, if you don't already follow, okay, these are online breathing sessions or breathing classes, I'm guessing. Yeah, again, I would just caution about doing breath work online, but each to their own. So yeah, have your experience if necessary. Cool, Esty. Oh, yeah, thanks, dear fun. Thank you for the recommendation. Esty, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add before we sign off. I feel like I keep asking you this question.
But that's usually how our classes end as well. We Michelle and I usually chat after class, and we talk about the things that we want to be doing or that needs to happen in the week or on the day, and we end up saying goodbye for 15 minutes, like
Right.
just before you
Yes.
go, this one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that just speaks to how awesome it is to collaborate with someone is, you know, you get to bounce ideas off of each other and you get to brainstorm and um yeah, it's been a boiling pot of creativity on this side. And we'll
Yeah.
keep it coming. Keep doing the best that we can do. So
Mm.
yeah, thanks guys for supporting us as far as you have, and join us if you haven't already. We welcome anyone. Like Esty said, our classes are open to all levels.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for the love, everyone. You guys really inspire us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you on the mat.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Esty. Thank you, everyone who joined us. And yeah, see you soon.
Okay, see you
Bye,
soon.
guys. Bye,
Bye.
Esty.